This video is part of series Western Political Thought. In this video, political ideas of Thomas Hobbes are explained. Born in Westport, Wiltshire, on April 5, 1588, to a clergyman father, Hobbes's life began with tumult, famously claiming his birth coincided with the Spanish Armada's approach, inspiring his lifelong aversion to conflict. He received a strong classical education, sponsored by a wealthy uncle, graduating from Oxford University in 1608. Career and key influences. He became a tutor and secretary to William Cavendish, later Earl of Devonshire, a relationship that provided access to libraries, European travel, and intellectual circles, where he met figures like Galileo and Descartes. His interest in geometry, sparked at age 40, influenced his systematic approach to philosophy, aiming to build a comprehensive view of the physical world, the body, and citizenship.
Famous works. 1. De Sive, published in Latin in 1642, a revised edition appeared in 1647. It was translated into English, entitled Philosophical Rudiments Concerning Government and Society, published in 1651. Leviathan, or the Matter, Form, and Power of a Commonwealth, Ecclesiastical and Civil, 1651. De Corpore, 1655. Behemoth, The History of the Causes of the Civil Wars of England and of the counsels and artifices by which they were carried on from the year 1640 to the year 1660, 1670. Hobbes on human nature. Hobbes viewed humans not as inherently evil, but as fundamentally self-interested and rational beings. A human being is a matter in motion, and there are two kinds of motion: vital motions and voluntary motions. Vital motions, circulation of blood, or the beating of pulse. Voluntary motions, or endeavor, of two kinds: towards something called appetite or desire, and away from something called aversion. Human beings are nothing but bundles of appetites and aversions, and life consists in satiating one desire after another. Death is the cessation of desire. Felicity or happiness is the movement from one fulfilled desire to another. Human beings have reason, but their reason is a slave of their passion. The role of reason is to devise the most efficient means of achieving passions. Hobbes, the state of nature as the state of war. Absence of political authority. As human beings ceaselessly pursue their desires with no agreement on good and bad, they come into conflict with each other. There is a war of every man against every man. The state of nature is a state of freedom and equality, and everyone has the right to do as he will. There is an attempt to acquire maximum power, and it never ceases. The desire for glory is part of the nature of man, which creates continuous hostility, so there are no long-term projects, no industry, no culture of the earth, no navigation, no arts, no society, because no one is sure whether they will enjoy fruits of their labor or not. The life of man is solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. Hobbes saw the laws of nature as the precepts of reason, as rational rules which show the way as to how to achieve one's desires. Hobbes lists 19 laws of nature. First, commands men to seek peace and to follow it. Second, states that a man be willing, when others are so too, as far forth as for peace and defence of himself he shall think it necessary, to lay down his right to all things, and be contented with so much liberty against other men as he would allow other men against himself. Third, commands men to perform their covenants made. Ninth, every man acknowledge the other for his equal by nature. 17th, no man to be allowed. Hobbes, social contract in state. Form of contract. All the individuals in the state of nature, promise to voluntarily give up their natural right to create a sovereign and obey its laws. The contract is irrevocable, as citizens cannot revolt against the sovereign unless their right to life is under threat. The creation of sovereign creates lasting peace from the chaotic state of nature. Distinction between state and sovereign. Earlier, the monarch did not just represent the state, he or she was the state. For Hobbes, the state is independent of the king, who is just someone who acts for the state.
Hobbes' idea of absolute sovereignty. People can choose to vest sovereignty in one person or in assembly of persons, but it is to be absolute. The people cannot make a new contract without the permission of the sovereign to make a new government. They cannot accuse the sovereign of any act of injustice or punish them for such acts. The sovereign has the right to be the sole judge of which policy is best for the peace and defense of the people. Any questioning of absolute power of the sovereign is a step towards dissolution of the Commonwealth and a return to the state of nature, which is anarchy or state of war. Individuals only have the right to life. The sovereign is not a party to the social contract, so he has no obligations towards the subjects. The subject has the right to self-defense in case right of life is threatened by sovereign as an individual. Some previous year UGC Net MCQs for homework. 1. Thomas Hobbes constructed his political philosophy on the basis of his postulates derived from A. Principles of natural science, B. Social science, C. Theology, D. Metaphysics. 2. In which year Leviathan was published? A. 1648, B. 1650, C. 1651, C. 1653. 3. With which book is the following statement related? Law is the command of that person whose percept contains in the reason of obedience. A. Deceive, B. Leviathan, C. Third letter on toleration, D. Rationale of evidence. 4. Which of the following books of Thomas Hobbes has the another title, The Matter, Form and Power of a Commonwealth Ecclesiastical and Civil? A. The Elements of Law, Natural and Politic, B. Deceive, C. Leviathan, D.